Unit 6, Reading 1.
In the 1850s, disagreements about slavery became angrier and more violent. Relations between North and South became poor. In 1860, a Republican from Illinois named Abraham Lincoln was elected president. He did not oppose slavery, but he disagreed with spreading it to new states. The Southern states did not vote for him, and many Southerners believed that he wanted to abolish slavery. After Lincoln's election, 11 of the Southern states became outraged. Southern politicians argued that states had a right to leave the U.S. and form a new country. They voted to create the Confederate States of America, CSA, also called the Confederacy. In April 1861, at Fort Sumter in South Carolina, the Confederacy fired the first shots of the U.S. Civil War from 1861 to 1865, and major fighting began that summer. At the beginning, many people believed it would be a short and easy war, but they were soon wrong. The North, called the Union, and the Confederacy had different strategies for fighting the war. The South was a huge territory with many defenders. They thought they could strongly defend their homes and ask European countries for help. The South also had skilled generals like Robert E. Lee and Thomas Stonewall Jackson. The North had more factories, railroads, soldiers, and military power. They needed to send armies into the South and divide Southern territories into pieces. The U.S. Navy also blocked trade with Southern ports to stop cotton exports and imports of supplies. The Union Army had many defeats early in the war and made slow progress. Over the next 4 years, there was terrible fighting with many bloody battles. For example, 22,000 soldiers were killed in one day at the 1862 Battle of Antietam. In the 1863 Battle of Gettysburg, 50,000 died in 3 days. In some ways, the U.S. Civil War was like a modern war. It was the first war in which railroads and telegraphs became important. Early machine guns were tested in battle, and steel-covered warships fought for the first time. The war was also the first time that a submarine destroyed another ship. Medicine, however, was not like today's modern medicine. Many hurt soldiers died in dirty, crowded hospitals. Doctors often needed to cut off injured arms and legs. About 60,000 men lost arms or legs in this war. Military prisons were often crowded and full of disease. 56,000 men died in Civil War prison camps. Photos of starving Union prisoners in Andersonville Prison in Georgia outraged the North. Although the Confederacy defended itself strongly, it slowly lost territory. The armies of the CSA made several surprise attacks into the North, but they were pushed back each time. By 1864, the South was running out of soldiers, weapons, and clothes. Although European countries sold weapons to the South, they were not interested in joining the war. As the fighting moved south, nearly 200,000 newly freed slaves joined the Union Army as new soldiers and sailors. Near the end of the war, southern cities like Atlanta, Columbia, and Richmond were burned and ruined. The fighting lasted until the Confederacy surrendered in April 1865. Over 635,000 people had died by the end. The U.S. Civil War was the deadliest war in American history.